Hey everybody, welcome back to BigRedEDC. Well, recently got a few knives in from Blade Ops. We got 3 different Kershaw knives to take a look at, and the first one is going to be this guy. This is the Hatch. Now, it's kind of interesting in these 3 knives we got. We got a Lockback, we got a double detent, and we've got a regular liner lock flipper knife. So, I haven't checked out a lot of the recent, well, when I say recent, I'm talking, real recent Kershaw knives. So I wanted to take a look at them. Guys, I have a soft spot in my heart for Kershaw. I have a hot soft spot and a little bit of a hard spot. And we'll kind of talk about it. Well, you know where my hard spot it is. It always boils down to materials and pricing. It really does. Them and CRKT, that's what it boils down to. But this guy is the Hatch. Now, first off, I want to point out, like I said, it is a lockback. Very cool. This FRN handle, I kind of like it. I've had some kind of poo-poo words for FRN in the past, and it's still definitely not my favorite by any means. For some reason, this got a little bit different feel to it. It still kind of feels like FRN, but it doesn't feel like a lot of FRN just feels cheap to me. I mean, Spyderco, a lot of their FRN just feels cheap to me. This one is not quite as bad, so I'm kind of liking that. Obviously, you've got a whole bunch of texturing going on. With little dots, I guess you want to call them. Stainless clip, definitely deep carry, very deep carry. Reversible, which is nice. Like I said, you've got a lock back there. Dual thumb studs for opening. So, it's a basic knife. As you can see, you've got a big old cleaver blade in there. That's kind of hard not to see. But, overall, flips out pretty nicely with that lockback. And even, it's got a decent little drop to it. Slide it shut, bring her home, and there you go. But it pops out on that thumb stud pretty well. It's got a very, very solid lockup. I like that. Handle-wise, like I said, that FRN, maybe just because there's not a lot of it. It is a rather thin knife. Maybe that has something to do with it. Don't know, but it just doesn't feel like normal FRN to me. Anyway, big old cleaver blade on there. Well, big for the knife's overall size, I guess I should say. Like I said, dual thumb stud. No, I cannot reverse flick it. Not even going to try. In-house design. Of course, this is a China knife. China Kershaw. D2 blade steel. Yeah, I know. D2 fatigue. I gotcha. It's real. But guys, D2 is never going away. I just don't see it. I just don't see D2 ever going away. But anyway, overall, you got some nice jimping there on the cleaver blade. Thumb grabs pretty well. Now, the only thing is you can see those thumb studs are out in that cutting path by a decent amount. Blade shape, the way it fits into the knife, there's really, they can't come back any further. They're right there. So that's pretty much where they're at, but they are out there in the cutting path a little bit. A little bit bummed about that, but like I said, the overall design of the knife, yeah, they're not really going anywhere else. Let's get some overall specs on it. So pretty nice here. It's a decent length. You got 7 3/8-ish. Pretty much a 4 1/4 inch handle, which is going to give you roughly about a 3 1/8 inch blade. Your cutting edge even extends a little bit further past that. Your cutting edge is actually going to be closer to 3 1/4, which buys you a little bit. Your choil, it's not bad. You've got kind of your choil's really right there. I don't see, you got a little bit of a downturn there on that blade. On that side. Yeah, this side you do too, kinda. So, overall grip length. Forgot to give you grip length. Point-to-point grip length, well, there you go. It's right in my wheelhouse. Right in that 3 1/4 to 3 1/2. Right where I'm liking it. It does fit my hand in well. We're definitely going to talk about that pocket clip here in a little bit, though. Got to talk about that, because that's another one of the kind of hard spots I have with Kershaw. All right, overall weight, 2.6. It's a pretty light knife. I mean, even with that, you know, the blade for the size of the handle, 73 grams. Then, of course, we'll check out that super deep carry here. In and out of the pocket, it's not bad at all. You got a pretty good ramp, so it goes in pretty easily. Like I said, super deep carry. It disappears in the pocket, which is nice, definitely. Good retention. Good retention on it. But let's talk about it overall. Like I said, I have a soft spot and a hard spot. Some of my first, you know, really, we'll go big name, because Kershaw is a big name. Knives were Kershaw. They just were. And, you know, that's kind of where I have a soft spot with them, is I pretty much want to like every Kershaw I get in my hand. That's just the way it is. Doesn't always work out that way, but that's the kind of the way I want it. Now, price-wise, I mean, this guy's sitting at right about $45, which isn't too bad. You know, for Kershaw, it's decent. It's a decent price for Kershaw. The one hard spot that I do have is that clip. And I think it has to do with the slim handle. That's where I'm getting it. Because it does, if it was back just a little bit, it would fall right in that. I don't know, though. It's turned up enough that it's getting me where I don't want it to get me. Would I call it a hot spot? It's there. It's close. And I could definitely see if somebody says, hey, man, that's a hot spot. I get it. I would understand that for sure. The pocket clip back here is fine, because that, you know, it does stay parallel out a decent ways. I think if it dove down a little bit quicker, it would be better. For me, this is completely my grip. And back to what I always say, guys, it's a sample size of 1. You know, so anything I tell you about the knife, it's one knife. And that's the way it's going to be with pretty much any review from any person. You know, the other thing I'm kind of sticking with is those thumb studs are out there in the cutting path a little bit. With what I am cutting, I'm usually doing rope, so it's not a big an issue. Now, if you want to do cardboard or something like that, yeah, it might be a hang-up point for you. And definitely when it comes to sharpening, if you use anything, you know, your guided, you know, your adjustable angle, that type of, I mean, even, I don't know about, like I said, I don't use stones that much. If you just use a honing rod, and if you're like me, I try to, any knife I use pretty much every day, I take over a honing rod, strap it up, and it's usually good to go. I usually don't do, the rope usually doesn't chip a blade. It would have to be a pretty bad blade for it to do that. This cleaver blade does do well on rope, absolutely. It has a little bit harder time with the thicker 21 thread, but the 6 and 9 thread, it pretty much goes through them without much trouble. So, I mean, overall, I'm fairly pleased with this knife. It does have a couple of issues for me, the pocket clip, and, you know, the thumb studs kind of out there in the cutting path. Price-wise, I'm not going to yell at Kershaw too much about this one. I think it's reasonably priced, and that's, like I said, that's a huge sticking point with me, usually, and we're probably going to get into one that it will be a little bit of a sticking point. So keep your eyes open for that. But overall, not a bad little budget Kershaw. I consider less than $50 budget. That's just where I'm at right now. So overall, like I said, not a bad knife. Couple little nitpicks here and there, but overall, not too bad. So really appreciate the guys over at Blade Ops sending this one and the other Kershaws out to check out. Those videos will be coming soon as well. Thanks a lot to you guys for stopping by today. Always appreciate it. Like, subscribe, leave me that comment, guys. You know I love talking to you. Until next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.